see you. I see you. Morning. It is a overclouded day today. It looks like it's gonna rain hard. So yeah, okay. Well, I'm in the right lane. Thank you, Jesus. Well, I hope everybody is doing well. Y'all come on in. I went to go see a scary movie last night. The parody. It was interesting. So I went to go see a scary movie last night, and why did they do a parody of Andrew Caldwell? I ain't gay no more. Uh, they they parodied everything, including Sinners. The movie it's just a lot of parody, but the junk is because you know it's the Wayans brothers, and they are making money. Everybody in that family making some money. What's up, Jay Parrish? Um, so I saw a content creator last night really going through some stuff. Mental health ain't no joke. Make sure you talk to somebody. Um, and if YouTube, B sector, let me say this. No one should have to leave the B sector. No one should have to leave the B sector. At the end of the day, it depends on what you want to do in the sector. I refuse to go back and forth with people. Those days are gone. Will I comment on things that I see? Yeah. Will I make parody of things that I see? Yes, I will. But to really go back and forth, get nasty, dirty, scream and holler with people, I've done it. I've done it. And I'll let other people do that. But there's no need right now at this stage. No need at this stage. And so I tell that person, you change your channel. If you know people are going to trigger you, then don't watch them or leave them alone. I don't watch people who don't have my best interest at heart. I don't. So when people saying, "Well, did you see?" No. Did you? No. I don't. I don't because that's what people want you. To do. They want you to see. No, absolutely not. I come on, do my show. No matter what it is, it's mine, and you move on. But these people crave attention. They crave and they live for strife. And it's okay to roast and gag, but it's a different breed of people, and there's some serious mental issues going on. And so I just step back from them. I really do. Um, Nobody can make me feel away because I'm Jay Wilson. You're not gonna make me feel away. I'm just not that. I'm just not wired like that. Even. But this is a show, and people need to realize that this is a show. And when you make it more than a show, let these people get into your psyche, and you really want to go after them, then you need to step back. And that's the truth. That's the plain truth. So that's my suggestion to Ron because he's going through a lot. He's going through a lot. But what I am going to say is if you dish it out, people are going to bring it back. And you can't dish it out and think people are not going to bring it back. If you don't want to be in those situations, then don't. Don't look at those people who are going to cause you pain and suffering, or who you don't like. It's just that simple. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's a difference between light and going after folk and laughing. Like I said, a lot of this stuff, it was already brought to YouTube. And they want the attention, but they didn't want the attention like they wanted the attention. And see, that's a problem. So, yeah, because somebody was on here talking about something. I pick on Castro. I know, no, you put it on, and we talk about it. And that's why I keep on telling people, you owe nobody nothing. Stop giving people all of this content unless you want to control the content. Unless you want to control the content. You can't expect to come up here and people to fall in line because you think they should like you and no one should talk about you. And no, this is not defective. So, and let me say this too. Because people have made wrong decisions or costly decisions in their life, they now become experts in my life? No. Let me explain. I went to school at a community college first. I did not want to stay there. I went to school in Miami. I got enough credit hours there to transfer to Norfolk State University. I finished a bachelor's degree at NSU. I finished a master's degree at NSU. Then I went to work. I was convinced to finish a PhD program because I didn't want to do one. A good friend of mine, God bless his soul, he's no longer here. He's a pastor in Cincinnati of a United Methodist Church. Never actually attended the United Methodist Church, but went to this United Methodist Church, and he said, "You need to go to your education." He put an application before me and made me fill the application out. I wasn't thinking much about it, and then I got the letter saying you have been accepted. I wound up going and finishing my doctoral program. I wasn't planning to do anything else after that. I worked for a university, and they provided free education. I finished my program in the DC area because you could not take courses in the region that you were in. And the reason why I did that was because my students were always complaining that they were working and they couldn't do X, Y, Z. So I said, well, okay. So I took a class every quarter. Took a class every quarter. When Blackboard was out, I would know Blackboard was out. They couldn't lie to me because I was a student as well. Well, I finished the degree. I finished the degree and had a Master's of Science in Management. Finished the degree. It was 3 years because it was part time. Finished it. No big whoop. It was free of charge. Then I went to work for another university, and they offered free education as well. Now, the difference with this was they weren't going to make me take all of my foundational classes because I've already taken those foundational business classes, graduate level, at the other college. So all I had to do was take my marketing class. And that's what I did and earned another master's degree. It's called working smarter and not harder. I still had to do the work, but when you don't know what transfer credits are, when you don't know what prior work experience means, then you don't understand higher education. And I just think it's hilarious that I'm supposed to feel bad about earning those credentials. Earning, not given, but earning. And let me say this, if those credentials were fraudulent, I wouldn't be able to teach online now. So, again, this is not bragging. This is just to tell people when you invest in yourself, you'll never, never run out of options. So, I can teach business, I can teach marketing, business 101, marketing, business communications, I can do it. Any of your general level or low level business courses, I can teach. Now, if I wanted to be real nasty, I would go and get a DBA and be able to teach in every level, including the graduate level of business. I'm not looking to do that. But if I wanted to, I could. Because there are many DBA programs out there. Now, that's in business and marketing. But I can also teach logic and philosophy and world religion. I can also teach speech communication. I can also teach Western Civilization 1 and 2, which I have taught. So, again, if those degrees were fraudulent, then I wouldn't be able to teach online at the current universities that I teach online. I'm just saying. This is why I ignore ignorant people. They mean well. No, they don't. They don't even mean well, but they're just ignorant. And that's the sad part about it. And no matter how you shake it, I'll have more credentials than you have. My credentials will get me in doors that you'll never get into. And so, again, when I look back on that, why should I be feeling some kind of way about somebody who sold his people toxic drugs, things that would take them out, went to prison, bragged about it, like that's some badge of honor, like he really did something, you know? And let me say this again, you all, because I want to be very clear on this point. This person, he is upset at everybody. I never forget him talking about he was mad because designers who had degrees were getting jobs, but he could do much better than them. But they were getting jobs because they had degrees. Well, I was like, well, why don't you get a degree? Obviously, if you were that talented, you would have broke through the ceiling without one. But maybe, just maybe, they went and got one because they knew that they would probably have to have one. See, you gotta watch people like that. They'll make you feel some kind of way because it's how they feel. And it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And I'm telling you all, stop letting these people get in your psyche. And the thing is, I didn't even need to look at the person's video to know what it was about. Yeah, but like I said, I have a degree. They can't rescind the degree. It's just ignorance, you all. But I'm not mad about it. I'm talking about it because it is content. But it goes to show you that I don't have to be fraudulent. I don't have to be fraudulent at all. Everything that I said I have, I have. I'm not a liar. I don't have to embellish and exaggerate. I know it makes people upset because I've had a lot of life experiences, but it is what it is. And I'm not afraid to tackle and take on new things. So, what's the read? Uh, what's the read? What's the drag? Oh, he got a degree from this school? Yeah, the school is regionally accredited. And whether you like it or not, it's a regionally accredited school. That's all that matters. And I don't think people understand that. Now, I didn't go to a school that didn't have regional accreditation. Yeah, I didn't go to a degree mill. I did what I had to do. But does it bother you that you think I'm stupid, but I'm smart enough to obtain what I need to survive? I'm just trying to figure it out because once again, selling drugs and going to prison ain't a flex. That ain't nothing to be proud about. I mean, the after effect, but all you did was retire on the government's dime. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but I'm really not upset. Um, and I guess people think I'm supposed to be upset and falling out and all of this, and it only just proves what I've been saying all along. So yeah, that's all. But I want y'all to look at these people and who's doing all the doxing and the people who are enjoying it. Look at where they are. Look at their status, and that should be enough to tell you what this really all about. Hold on for a minute, y'all. And my alarm clock just went off. So yeah, it should really tell you all what this is about. And I'm not upset. And again, I don't think I'm better than anybody because I know that people will, go with that. No, it's making the right decision. And I'm going to tell you all that all the decisions that I made, they weren't the best, but they did not take me down a road that I couldn't come back from. They didn't take me down a road that I couldn't come back from. The decisions that I made were not criminal to get me a felony or even a misdemeanor. So look at those types of things, you all. I just, my heart goes out to people because I'm like, something is really wrong with you, and you are really hurting inside to want to do this to another brother or a sister, and you think it's okay. And then to say that I'm trying to clean up the sector, no, the sector doesn't need to be cleaned up. First of all, this ain't your sector, number one. Number two, you've done some gross things that would really mean jail time if back in the day, if law enforcement were like it is now, back in the day, some people would have been in jail. And like I said, me going to college is not a read. And the sad part about it is you upset, but this is the catch. I finished. I completed with a full-time job and completed. Going to work every day and completed it. And let me tell y'all something though. Now let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. That was the last degree I completed. That was in 2017, I believe. And when I tell you, I'm used to really getting great grades. And this degree was really tricky because I transferred in a lot of credits because I had foundational credits for business already. So I had to take 3 classes. And what was difficult about that was that the last class was financial accounting, and you could only make one C in that whole graduate program. One C. I told them, this is going to be where the C is going to be. I know I'm going to make a C in this. And so I made a C in that class. I didn't really even care. Usually it would bother me. It didn't bother me that time because I'm like, I don't have nothing to prove. But yeah, I finished that degree up. And the thing is, when you transfer credits in, it doesn't equate in the GPA. It equates in finishing the degree. So I just thought that was interesting. It was an interesting story. Stretch mark in their minds, that's what cleaning up the sector is in their minds. And it's sick. It's sick. It's sick. This is a sick person. And yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. I come on here to do my show, and no one is going to make me move from this easy money making apparatus where I can come on, chat with my folks, log off, and that's it. You're not going to run me away from my money. Absolutely not. And my thing is, you the one who look bad. Like I said, okay, stack your resume against mine. Stack your resume against mine. What have you done in your life? It's just that simple. And when the chips fall, you ain't gonna see too much. But hey, this is the type of group we deal with. Yeah, we talked about Miss Bryant. We talked about Miss Bryant, and I'm gonna say this. Miss Bryant is not forthcoming because even when a school closes, you can still get your transcripts. You can get it from Parchment, and Parchment has most. They usually are. Um, they usually take schools credit. So if the school closes, Parchment will take on that to get the credits through. So she's not telling the whole truth. And I know people who attended Argosy and they can get their credits at any time, especially now because things are digital and they can get it. It's not like it's paper and stuff. So that's not true. I think she's stalling. Um, and people from Argosy and the people who graduated from Argosy University, they are really coming forth to say, no, she's not telling the truth. Because if you want to get your transcripts, you can get your transcripts. Yeah, you can get your transcripts. And let me say this too. Just because Argosy is closed, that doesn't mean it's a degree mill. Argosy closed because of enrollment. And people don't understand. That's why a lot of brick and mortar colleges are closing now because of enrollment. I'm afraid for Sangha and some black colleges that are dropping in enrollment because if you have around 300 to 500 students, you can't drop below 200 because then you're in danger of closing. And so Argosy couldn't compete with the Stringers and the DeVries and the Southern New Hampshires and the Liberty Universities, and they were edged out. And a lot of schools can't deal with brick and mortar anymore, so they go completely online, and that happens. However, the school is accredited until they lose their accreditation. Meaning, if you got your degree in 1995 and the school closed and lost its accreditation in 1996, your degree is still valid. Yeah. So now, if you went to the school in 1996, then you have problems. Come on, man. I'm waiting for you. I'm turning. Ooh, Lord Jesus. Well, let me see what y'all saying. Okay. Okay. If that's what Dimples does, so do I need to go strike Dimples? I mean, I can strike her if I need to strike her. I don't know why people are playing these games, and it's so unfortunate. Now, Dimples, if somebody shows up to your church and talks to your family, you would think people would do you wrong. But I'm gonna tell you, Dimples, what comes around goes around. It's unfortunate, but that's what y'all do. And I don't know why I have been doxxed till I can't be doxxed no more. I mean, interesting, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna make my money. And let me say this again to you all, and this is a sad truth too. I don't even feature Dimples. Dimples is not even in my lexicon anymore. Again, people you don't even deal with. But that's how deep that hurt is, and that's how hurt people are. I don't deal with Dimples at all. So we'll see. I'll figure it out what I need to do. I'm not really concerned, you all. I'm really not. I'm really not. I'm really not. I just think it's sad that people do this. And I think this is why the beef sector is really dying in a sense of that because again we got nefarious folk who don't really get it. This is a show. And if a show is causing you that much pain and hurt, then you need to help. I come on to do my show. This is a show. This is not real life for me. This is a set. This is the show. Once the show is finished, it is what it is. But anyway, no. So I didn't know she was doing that, or they were doing that. It is all good. I just can't be upset, you all. And let me say this: These people are not good with their life. They're unhappy. So they want to cause other people unhappiness. And I'm sorry, you can't do that to me. I just, and again, Dimples ain't even in my lexicon. I just, yeah, I forgot Dimples was even in the sector until y'all just mentioned Dimples. Because I don't go over there and watch Dimples. She loves the Lord. She loves God and Jesus and all of that stuff. But this is what she does. Okay. All right. Yeah. This is why. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but like I said, you all, no big whoop. I'm just, y'all. I'm in a place now where do what you got to do. Nothing that I've done was criminal. I ain't going to jail off of anything. I mean, y'all mad over a commercial? Are you mad because I'm in a commercial? Are you mad because, I was talking about an experience from a script? I'm just wondering because it's really hilarious. And you can tell when people really get hurt. Well, we're going to get Jay Wilson. We're going to get Jay Wilson. We're going to bring him down the peg because he thinks he's so much. The thing, I'm the Uber driver. I'm the old man. I'm the one who got a house at 50 and all of this stuff. I mean, but yet y'all act like I'm some mega star that y'all trying to take down. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm so broke. But yet, and I just think it's interesting. Okay, let them come put me down. I'm not okay. How you gonna put me down and you can't even put your teeth up? See, that's what I don't get. Y'all, come on. These hoes can't even afford teeth. How they gonna even get to someplace? They barely eat. Girl, people barely got teeth in there. Okay, move along. These hoes barely got teeth in their mouth. And is it me or have we ever seen these people travel outside of their state, outside of their city? I ain't never seen these people travel outside their city. Never seen them travel outside their state. Ain't never seen that. Ain't never seen that. But yet they gonna do all of this stuff. They okay, baby, come on down. Now I don't know if you can afford the tickets because, well, no, you may be able to afford the tickets now because the Spurs got to go to New York. But girl, get on a little frontier. Pack you a little bag. Pack you a little overnight weekend bag and do what you must. Because let me tell you something. If you get on a plane, I would be surprised. I ain't never seen these people on planes. Never seen them on a train. All I see them is just at home, on a porch, in a closet. No. And again, people getting mad because I was on a train, but we ain't never seen these hoes doing nothing else. You know? Hey, Paulette, I came to see you, girl. Woo, chat. Come on, Paulette. Girl, I came to see you. But yeah, so y'all, it ain't no stress here. But baby, these girls ain't doing ish, and they act like they act like they Dominique Devereaux. They act like they Jr. and Bobby and Jock and Miss Ellie over there on Dallas. Girl, they act like they Angela on Falcon Crust and stuff, and not slandering and shit. Okay, girl. I mean that's what get me. Yeah, these hoes ain't the only train they've been on is the city train and the city bus. Don't know what a contract look like. Don't know what a boarding process is. I mean, just I ain't never seen these hoes travel. These hoes ain't never go. All you see is a front porch and a closet, bro. And that's what get me. And this is why I sit here and laugh. And I ain't trying to be, but I'm being real, y'all. These people who got so much smoke for me really look at what they've been doing. And this is the thing. While they sitting up there vegetating, being mad at somebody, baby, I'm getting certifications. I'm thinking about my future, even as an older man. All these girls are sitting here is vegetating, waiting to see Jesus. Baby, it seems like they just waiting to see Jesus. Don't get. These hoes don't have no teeth. They can't get no permanents. They can't get no implants. But they just coming for me. Okay? And truth be told, quiet be kept. I mean, they only 5 years older than I am. And the other was a little old, but not that much. And I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna keep my little folded, wrinkled skin. I can't help it because I got a little white man in me. That happens, yes, yeah, it happens. Yep, it happens. But hey, it is what it is. But one thing I can say, I'm keeping my tea in Jesus' name, and whatever comes with it. Fly Prince, you can't make me fight against Rodney. Rodney has to make Rodney's own decisions. See, I don't get caught up in that because at the end of the day, there are no friends on YouTube. So again, I believe in that. There's no friends on YouTube. So Fly Prince, let Rodney do what he need to do. That don't bother me because I know what's really going on. But that don't bother me in it. It don't have anything to do with me. So Rodney can mod for whoever he wants to. I said what I said. I mean it. And again, I don't talk to Rodney on the phone. I don't do, you see what I'm saying? So therefore, there's no meaningful connection. And I do that for a reason. But let me tell you something. Every dog has his day. And just because you kicking up sand, that don't mean nothing. Because again, I have options. I have options. Now, this is what I'm saying. And I want y'all to hear me very clear. If somebody's channel gets snatched, could you make that water bill? Because see, if I'm not on YouTube anymore, I can still pay my bills. And I find it very, very funny or very strange or very ironic that when somebody thought that their channel was unmonetized, baby, they had a whole fit about supplementary income and all that. And see, you all, this is why I sit here and laugh at people because a lot of this shit is projection. That person sat there and said that I needed YouTube to pay this, this, and the third. But in actuality, when that person thought that their channel wasn't monetized anymore, they start crying about supplementary income. Do you all see where I'm going with this? What's up, Room Shaker? So again, this is why I don't get caught up in all of this mess. A lot of this stuff is projection. These people have no power anywhere else except YouTube. And so they come on to YouTube because this is where they can project their power. They don't have power anywhere else. They have no influence anywhere else except YouTube. And when they see people who may have a little bit of influence outside of YouTube or doing other things, then it becomes you think you're better than we are, or you think that, and nobody don't think that. But that's your own insecurity because I don't think nobody is better than me. I never felt inferior to anyone. Can I celebrate people for their gifts and talents? Yes, I can. Why am I going to be jealous because Nerdy has a doctorate degree? I celebrate that. Why am I going to be upset because ghetto intellect lives in a gated apartment and drives a nice car. Why am I going to be upset about that? Celebrate that. Don't have nothing to do with me. And I don't feel any less because he has that. But when you start feeling less because somebody has something or somebody has earned something, then it's really not that person. It may be you. Pretty Purple Rain, Vivian is fine. She came on, Vivian has had a loss in her family, and so she's helping relatives cope with that. So Vivian is actually doing things with her family right now, but she's fine. She is fine. So yeah. What's up, Ladon? And that's none of their business. You all. I just think it's funny. I just think it's funny. Um, Again, I never felt inferior to anyone on YouTube, male or female. I celebrate people who are moving up in their companies. I celebrate people who are getting a home. As you all heard, Rebel is looking at a container house, which I think would be awesome. It's not for everybody, but I think it's great. Rebel came on and talked about that. Rebel works in the medical field. Rebel makes good money. You don't see me talking about something. Ooh, you think you somebody? Ooh, because you said you bought a car cash. Okay. See again, when you are insecure and when you don't have anything going on in your life, you take offense at other people who are doing things in their life. And that's how I look at that. That's exactly how I look at that. And again, look at the people who doing all of this doxing and stuff. Look at what they're doing. Look at their life in real time. Look at their life in real time. And you can understand why they do what they do. And I'm not moved. I come on here because this is a show. This is entertainment. When you look at my little bio here, it says comedy. And that's what it's about. It's about comedy. So that's it and that's all. Brian, what I'm going to tell you is block these people out. Stop going to their channels. That's what they want you to do. They want you to go to their channel. They want you to listen to them berate you. A lot of this stuff is protection. And let me say this. You can say whatever you want on YouTube. I live in San Antonio. I go where the hell I want. I'm not in how, it's funny they mentioned the library on the cruise ship. Baby, if that was the case, I would never leave my home in the San Antonio area. I go to the mall, I go to comedy events, and not a bit concerned. And even if I meet somebody, I ain't concerned. One year, I was at the MLK March, and there was a subscriber, and she's like, "Hey, Ken Wilson." I'm like, "What's up?" Easy as that, and kept on moving. LaDon, I'm that way too. Again, I don't want to know about that. And far as Timothy Blaine, like I said, somebody doxed him down his socks to his church, his pastor, and they wanted me to put that out. I'm like, I'm not putting that out. First of all, I like his pastor, and I'm not putting it out. And I just think it's funny with the gay church and all of that stuff. And it's a radically inclusive church. And I just think it's really funny how people can go along with the bandwagon, but yet they attend the same type of of church. And you all, at the end of the day, let people think what they want to think. Because that's another thing. People are always fishing for information. And when you got to sit there and prove something to folk, you gave them exactly what they wanted. Now, I've told you all about my academic journey. That's no secret. And all I'm gonna say is that, yeah, it only validated what I said in the beginning. Radically inclusive is meaning that anybody could come. Gay, straight, black, white, Asian, whatever, you can come. Radically inclusive. It's just not inclusive because, it's radically inclusive. So that's what that means. Anyone and everyone could come. Everybody's welcome. That doesn't mean the doctrine changes, but that means everybody is welcome. That's what radically inclusive means. Prince of Sheba. Anyway, you all. So what else is going on? Y'all, I'm having a great time. I'm gonna tell you, I needed a good laugh, and well, Unitarian is different because Unitarians in the Unitarian tradition, all religions are welcome. So you can be a Wiccan and go to a universal Unitarian church. You could be Amish and go to a Unitarian church. You could believe in space vehicles and aliens and go to a church. So it's like all of these religions together, and everybody's trying to. So that's that. But usually for a radically inclusive church in the Christian text, it's that you can come. Doctrine doesn't change. This is what we believe, but everybody is welcome. Okay. LaDon, let me say this. It's not a whole lot of drama in those churches. I found out that their young people are very intelligent, very smart, and they're very protective of their children. Um, there are some trade-offs. One thing that I didn't care for too much is it's nothing like a black church in that worship. Ain't nothing like that. And you may not always get that because, again, you're blending all types of music together. Um, but the people are much more cohesive. They work together, they collaborate together, they work in the community. They really are about social justice. And I like that. So there are some trade-offs. There are some pros and there are some cons. Very very much like that. Pros and cons. Um, I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm gonna tell you, I've never been hit on at a radically inclusive church, but the churches that are typical, It's always somebody in somebody's face. And I just find that to be like, mm, I'm just saying. LaDon, I find it to be less drama. Folk ain't trying to hook you up and stuff. And it was just, and then of course, I could go there and I didn't have to worry about, you know, sitting with my partner and all of that stuff. None of that. No crazy looks because people come in. And this is the thing, people from all walks of life. The reason why I like that church so much is because the people were so creative. So we had about 4 artists and they would do artwork for the church. We had people in big positions. So the former director or president of VIA, which is San Antonio's bus system, he was the CEO. He would drop by the church because he was in community. So again, you met the movers and shakers who are LGBTQIA because they would go to that church for the most part. A lot of jobs, a lot of connections came through that particular church. Because again, we have a mindset of what gay is about. But let me tell you something. Gay men and women are extremely intelligent. They know how to survive and they know how to network. And so we had a lot of people. The mayor of San Antonio, she stops by every once in a while because she family. The new mayor. So again, you all, I don't know why people think that people who are in the community are paupers and poor or don't have any influence. They do. A lot of influence. And again, gay people have a lot of influence. And you can see the stereotypes. And let me say this too. Let me say this too. There is a balance. There is a balance. Every black gay man is not hooking and selling themselves for a coin. I know brothers and sisters right now who are in major positions. They doing it. They're making gains. So I'm just saying all of this because sometimes we see a stereotype and we go with it. But everybody ain't poor. Do we have some people who do that? Yeah. But this is the thing. Don't heterosexual people have the same problem? I'm just saying. Bunky, I think a lot of people feel that way because I think that they really try to make people like they are. A lot of these churches to me are like fraternities and sororities in the sense that they want to break you and make you what they want you to be. And I had to tell one church, I'm like, y'all trying to make that person what y'all want him to be. And what y'all want him to be is probably, I said, it may be a possibility that that's not what God wants him to be. You should lead people to the path that God wants them to be on, not your path. At the end of the day, I just see that. If you don't like, I'm not coming to church in a suit and tie all the time. I'm just sorry, I'm not gonna do that. I grew up in a traditional church, but it has nothing to do with clothing. And what most people don't know is research is most white collar professionals, they don't go to church in suit and tie because back in the day, that's what they had to do. Black people did that because that was the only time that we could put on a suit and tie. If you sit up there working the fields, cleaning somebody's house, you're not dressed in your Sunday best, but on Sunday, that gave you the opportunity to show what you had. And this is why it ain't about presenting yourself to God. It's about some traditions and how we were conditioned. God ain't concerned about no suit. Jesus didn't wear no suit and no tie. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. But when you look at the history and why people do it, then the light comes on. If you work 6 days a week and you had a Sunday that you could dress up and wear your Sunday best, then that's what we gonna do. So I don't get into that what's up Hershey, that dress and all of that stuff, and you meet people where they are. You meet people where they are. And a lot of this stuff is about control, and even in churches about control and all of this stuff, and and we don't like anyone who's different. Instead of embracing diversity, we want everybody to be cookie cutter like us, and everybody's not going to be that. So that's the whole thing. And then I listen to people from the sector, and I don't even argue with people anymore. You just don't. You just keep it moving, and you just keep it moving. So that's my mindset. That's how I look at it. Thank God we live in America, that we have the freedom to worship how we want to, and you know we have the ability to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which I love, and that's what we do. What else is going on, you all? Y'all, let me say this. I'm not upset. I'm not upset at anybody. Um, Again, I say to Brian, stop watching people. If people are doing things to disturb your peace, cut them off. Cut them off. Shelley, I keep on repeating it, but I think it's worth repeating. Shelley said, if somebody stabs you in the back, take that same knife and cut ties. And baby, that's for real. Stop dealing with people who continuously do that. Now, let me say this, y'all, and I'm gonna be very clear. I will let people on my platform when it's advantageous to, when it's lucrative, when it makes sense. But that's it. There are people who will never come on this platform. I don't care what's going on. A lot of people are upset because they don't have access. And when I mean they don't have access, they don't have access to my platform. I'm not going to theirs. And if you give me too much, I'll just block you. And a lot of people have been blocked because, I'm like, okay, I see this. And this is not a good partner to work with because I learned in negotiation when somebody operates in bad faith, you don't negotiate with them, you walk away. You can't look. Who is they? Can I say something to you? Who is they? There are no friends on YouTube. Who is they? I don't work behind the scenes with people. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And I know y'all want me to go and fight with Rodney and all of that because that's what it is. I said what I said to Rodney, and that's all I need to say. And what I said will come to pass. It's not if, it's when. So why am I getting upset because of that? But who is they? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, I don't have a team of people working for me. It's just me. And again, I don't take these folks seriously. This is a show, boo. This is a show. See, y'all getting emotionally involved with people. Ooh, they working with this person to do this and do this. Oh, okay. Okay. It has not stopped me from driving. Gas is almost $5, but I'm still putting gas in the car. Girl, I'm still in the house. The girl said I was supposed to be kicked out in 2012, but I'm still here. Y'all get all entangled in this. When I tell you that this is business, I mean it. It's business. So it could be anybody. But see, I'm not on the phone. You can never say, "Oh, I talked to Jay Wilson and this is what he said." Mm-mm. Or I recorded Jay Wilson's telephone calls and this is what he said. Or I was texting and emailing Jay Wilson. Mm-mm, 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 none of that. None of that. When I tell you when the curtains close, the show is over. Do you hear me? So again, the Bible said, Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God and also in me. In my Father's house, there's many mansions. If it were not so, I wouldn't have told you. But I go prepare the place before you, and where I go, ye may be also. So what I'm trying to say is, fret not thyself of evildoers. And I'm not trying to be funny, but my heart is not troubled at all. It's not. People say what they want. I'm going to remain calm. You know why? Because, baby, I'm doing a show. And people got to work extra hard to do all that. Baby, I'm not working hard. I'm working smarter and not harder. All I do is come on and chit chat and talk with y'all. And this is what I may do. I don't know if it's going to take my channel out or not. I don't know. But when I'm ready to hang it up, I'm leaving because I wanted to, not because somebody made me to. So who's they? I really don't care. Baby, but they want to. And again, I just can't. I don't look. I'm beyond that now. I'm beyond all of that foolishness. Divine Starlight, he got to work on that within himself. If you want people to leave you alone, leave them alone. That's all I'm gonna say. As long as you keep messing with people, people gonna mess with you. If you really want people to leave you alone, and I'm just saying, leave them alone. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Well, who is they? Who are you talking about? Because let me say this: who is they? You don't need to delete your comment. You just need to be clear. So if it's not Rodney, who are you talking about? Be upfront and tell me who you're talking about. Because when you're not clear in your communication, you could be talking about anybody. Divine Starlight, I saw that. But hey, but who is they? Who are you talking about? Put a name to it. Because when you don't put a name to it, then there's no clarity. So if you want me to know, and if it's not just Rodney, then who is it? Because if you don't put a name to it, it could be anybody. Am I right about it? Am I right about it? Am I right about it? Demas, oh, please don't provoke that man. Demas, oh, please don't provoke that man. That man is going through a lot of tough times right now. Ooh, don't provoke him. Ooh, Demas, oh, please don't provoke him. Ooh, Jesus. Don't provoke him. But no, baby, no. No, 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 no. Nope, nope. I'm still good. And the only reason why I know what happened last night is because somebody sent me the video with the timestamp. Because baby, you got to put the timestamp on it. Let me tell you something. I'm not gonna even try to go find it. People say, Jay Wilson, you lazy. I sure am. I am. Because baby, I got too much to do to be going through and listening to all of this foolery. Tell me what you want me to hear, and I'll listen to it. And baby, somebody sent me the timestamp, and I listened to what I needed to hear, and that's it. I am lazy because I refuse to listen to some of this foolery. But baby, what's that person? Um, who they? Who you talking about? Put a name on it. Hershey said, put a name on it. Put a name on it. I mean, don't get frustrated when you come up here and say something, and then I'm like, well, who are the people? You act like I should know. So put a name on it. Y'all be doing stuff. See, y'all be doing stuff, but you don't want to put a name on it. Put a name on it. Who is it? Why am I dropping the link? Who here to click on the link? Why am I dropping the link? Huh? Why am I dropping the link? I don't know why I'm dropping the link. There go the link. And can I say this? Just because I say hello to people in the chat, that don't mean we good. I'm just saying hello. It's just polite. It's just polite. It's just polite to do that. Demons. Oh, I went to go see scary movie, The Wayans Brothers. It was funny. They did a little spoof on Andrew Caldwell. Lord, if I baby it alive at a party, she looked a hot mess. Divine Starlight, I can't even talk about that because I haven't watched her. I haven't watched her. I'm gonna have to. This shirt is just too big, baby. This shirt used to be kind of like, but it's big. I gotta go change it. Um, what else? I dropped the link. So where am I dropping the link? Ah, now I'm getting ready to say this. I don't have a problem with who is they, number one. But see, this is why I look at stuff with a side eye because when you say it ain't only Rodney, then of course you don't put a name on it. And my thing is, if it's so concerning to you, or you think that something nefarious is happening, put a name on it. But baby, when folk don't put names on stuff, that's why I leave people alone. Put a name on it. No, Devon Starlight. Um, I don't even know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the case or not. There are a lot of things that are going on in the sector. Um, I haven't watched. No, who is they? No, no, that's not the case. You put it out there. We asked for a name. You didn't want to give it, and that's fine. But now don't try to act like, well, names aren't necessary. Well, if it was necessary, then you wouldn't have brought it up in the first place. Again, and I just look at you like, okay, you just messy. You just messy. And so at the end of the day, that's why I told you I don't talk to people behind the scenes anyhow. No, no, you didn't distract it. But my thing is with me, I'm gonna always press you. Who is they? And that's your title. That's your moniker. So yeah, names are necessary when you're saying that somebody and it's not Rodney. Obviously, you would have left it at that. Y'all something else. Y'all something else. But again, just like church people, just like church people, and this is why I have fun with you two because just like church people, we'll throw something out. So I just yeah. So you're not distracting the commentary, and you can leave. I mean, that's totally up to you. But when you up there saying what you said, I'm gonna press you. And you're right. There are no friends on YouTube, so that's why I side eye you too. Because obviously you had an agenda or a slant. Who is it, Vivian? Is it Vivian? Is it Viv? Now they saying Lemon has a deformed. Shakim posted the picture on his wall. A deformed what? Hand? A deformed what? Yeah, can I say this? I'm really not concerned about that anymore. I find that commentary to be quite disturbing. And I don't yeah, okay. Look, I find it to be quite disturbing. Um I just think it's really interesting what we gravitate to. And we like a good train wreck. We love a good train wreck. But I'm really not interested because nothing that they are doing is interesting to me. Whenever you can sit there and curse your mama out in a public space, and then, I'm like, yeah, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Um, and it just didn't start happening. It's been happening. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm really not interested in the lemon stuff. I can't even follow the man because his page may be there one day, it may be gone the next day. It's just too much. It's just too much. It's just too much. It is just too much. And again, you all look at the players. Look what they're doing. Yeah. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who actually work for a living, who go and make it happen, who put their time in. Those brothers and sisters who use investments and make their money on the stocks, and not on government assistance. Shout out to them. Shout out to people who have a focus and invest in themselves. Okay? Because at the end of the day, those are the people who are making it happen. Those are the people who are making it happen. What else is going on, you all? Because I have made it to my destination. But look, Noah Long here, doing well. Got to sing somewhere today. Getting paid to do it. Very happy because of that. Always some good things happening. Invest in yourself. Let people do what they need to do. Do not let people's problems become your problems. Don't let their insecurities, envy, bitterness, jealousy, whatever it is, become your problem. Don't fall for the okie doke. People want to engage with you. Don't engage with them because that's what they really want you to do. They want you to come on, cuss, lose your mind, so they can sit there and just enjoy that, and then come on back. I don't care. I don't. Anyway, I just had a awesome time last night, and getting ready to have another one this afternoon, and prepare for the next week. You all got to live your lives. You cannot live your life in fear. These people who are doing these nefarious things, they need something. They are missing something. It's okay to come on here, roast and gag, and be the comedian and all of that. But, it's never okay to try to take people's livelihood because you don't like a person. That's weird. It's absolutely weird. And then, you know, it almost is like I don't want you to succeed because I ain't doing shit either. So I'm gonna take what you have because I don't feel good about myself, or I think that you think you're better than us. So we're gonna chop you down a peg so you can be down there with us because you think you all of that. And it's like, yeah, you should think you're all of that too. But I don't think I'm all of that to make you feel inferior. But I'm going to keep on saying it's the choices that you make. And we've all made bad choices, but some of us have made more egregious choices than others. If you sell illicit, illegal items, you may go to jail. If you break in the law, you may go to jail. Make better decisions. Think long term and short term. And this is the thing, you all are coming after people who have options. And so if something happens, I was watching about the lizard and the starfish you can cut their arm or their tail off, it grows right back. So people who have options are just like that. You don't stop them folk. It's people who have very limited options that are in danger. And what happens is, let me give you a prime example of what happened with ZX. ZX thought he had cut everything off because, again, he called a contracted job that I have. Then got mad because people gave me $3,000. $3,000. And then I had another position. See, you're always going to be frustrated, but you don't have nothing to lose. You know why you don't have nothing to lose? Because you really don't have nothing. Hershey, that I do not know. That I do not know. I will say this: Rico has been smart to just do his mashup music and keep his business off of YouTube. And I just think that's smart. And I applaud him for that. Because if you put your business out, and I'm going to say this again, I can understand when people dox you. That's a whole nother level. You have no control over that. And I give people grace with that. But when you put your stuff out there like that, and then expect people not to say anything, that's crazy work to me. That's crazy. So I'm not sure, but I think that he's being wise to really not put his business out on Front Street. And I think that it is working to his advantage. So those are my thoughts. What else is going on, you all, in the beef sector? Like I said, um, yeah, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, y'all are telling some things. I'm like, okay, I didn't know. But if it's illegal, I guess I have to handle it. Everything is not worth going to the authorities for, and you just got to know what is and what isn't. And some things, yeah, it ain't that deep. Anything else before I leave on out? You all invest in yourself. Invest in your education. I don't care if it's Harvard, Yale, Oxford, or University of the People, Thomas Edison State University, Charter Oaks, or Southern New Hampshire. I don't care. An education is an education. As long as it's regionally accredited, and I bring that out, do what you got to do. Because nobody can take that education away from you. Let me say this: Harvard, Yale, Southern New Hampshire, Grand Canyon University, they use the same books. They go to the same publishers. Nothing is different. The only thing is that your Harvard and Yale is more competitive. You have to compete to even get in a class because that's the mindset that's there. You don't have to do that at Southern New Hampshire, but you get the same material. So again, to try to downplay another university from another university is crazy because they're all getting the same information. Business is business no matter where you go. Psychology is psychology no matter where you go. Some schools are teaching institutions, some schools are research institutions. There are trade offs with both. With teaching institutions, you're going to get what you really need. With the research institutions, you may get a student teacher because the professor is so busy doing research that he doesn't have time to teach. So there is trade-offs with everything. But again, if you've never been on a college campus and you don't know the college system, you don't get that. And see, that's where a lot of people miss it. So when you get regional accreditation, they are coming to your campus. They are looking at your curriculum. You got to have so many PhDs teaching your courses. Your financial situation has to be strong, or they will close you down. So this is not a fly by night stuff. You have schools on probation right now, whether it's governance or what have you. So when you're looking at accreditation, it's big. National accreditation, you can get a job, but it's geared more toward, and let me say this, national accreditation is geared more towards jobs, trade schools, that type of thing. It's not academic in focus. However, a lot of schools are trying to put the academic focus under that national accreditation, unfortunately, at the demise of their students. Regional accreditation is more academic focus, more research focus. Under this administration, schools can be both. And this is why I was talking about the University of Arkansas Grantham, because the University of Arkansas system, all of their schools are regionally accredited except Grantham. Grantham is nationally accredited. So if you go to University of Arkansas Grantham, you can transfer into another University of Arkansas because it's in their system, but that's no guarantee that you can transfer into another school, private or state, that's not in the University of Arkansas system, because most universities operate on the regional accreditation system. And not to say that you can't get into those schools, but you may have to do other things and extra things to get in there. Or they may have a reciprocation agreement with the University of Arkansas. Now, if you go to the University of Arkansas Grantham and try to get a job at the San Antonio Police Department, you can't. Because even though it's the University of Arkansas system, Grantham is not regionally accredited. And to work at the San Antonio Police Department, your school has to be regionally accredited. That's it, that's all. And so the problem that I have with the University of Arkansas Grantham is because it has that name brand recognition, the University of Arkansas, people think that, oh, we can go here because it's University of Arkansas. But they're not letting the kids or the individuals know that, hey, we're nationally accredited. Now, my hope is that the University of Arkansas Grantham get regional accreditation. The University of Arkansas purchased Grantham because they needed an online tool. And Grantham already had everything in place. So all they had to do was just go in, get the faculty and staff, boom, they have an online presence. But now they really need to work on getting a regional accredited school. So again, when I talk about regional accreditation and national accreditation, it's a big deal. If you're in the education or the academic sphere, it's a big deal because it can determine whether you get into grad school. It determines whether you can go to a company. It determines all of that. So I think it's a big deal. And this is why I'm looking at the University of Arkansas with a side eye, because I'm like, you're using your name recognition to get these people in, but you're not telling them about the accreditation. And I think that's nasty work. So hopefully, either they're upfront with their students or they are pushing to get regional accreditation. And that's real. So, yeah, Purdue Global actually purchased Kaplan University, which was a for profit school, but they're regionally accredited. And now it's Purdue. Yeah, so I'm bringing this out, you all, because it's important because people could really get screwed financially and have a worthless degree in the term. And this is why I think it's funny. People talk about he got that degree mill. No, it's not a degree. All of my degrees are regionally accredited. I work for how many? I worked for one school that was nationally accredited. No, two. I worked for two schools that were nationally accredited. One school had a nursing program and they had a mechanic program, and they were nationally recognized, and that was great. But but I was telling the leadership, if you all are doing this great, then you should be able to get regional accreditation. And what really did it for me, and let me say this, it was free education at those schools. It was free education at those schools. Because they were nationally accredited, I didn't want it. I passed it. I'm like, no, because you're not regionally accredited. You're a nationally accredited school. No. I had a student, brilliant African American sister, and she finished her bachelor's degree in computer science. She she got accepted at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. However, she had to jump so many loops and hoops to get through because the school was nationally accredited. And she was so pissed off because she had another friend who had a computer degree like her, and she got instantly accepted because she went to a regionally accredited institution in San Antonio. And right then and there, I'm like, see, this is the problem. She got accepted, but she had to do 2 times as much work as the other student, and her grades had to be almost near perfect for her to get in. That's the difference. So I have taught at two nationally accredited schools, and the students have always been disgruntled when they got their degree because, like, there was one school, they had a criminal justice program, but none of the students could work for the police department or the city of San Antonio if they required a degree. Because if the degree wasn't regionally accredited, San Antonio said, no, we can't use you. And that's the guy. And I'm saying this, you all, because there's a bigger picture. And we as Black people will sit here and laugh at somebody's degrees, but we don't even know the accreditation issues behind the degrees. And no matter what you say about mine, I can go anywhere with them. Because again, there is a standard, and regional accreditation is the gold standard for accreditation. Period. And not only are my schools regionally accredited, They are programmatically accredited. So when I got my music degree, my school was accredited not only by Southern Associations of Schools, but the National Association Schools of Music. So I had a programmatic accreditation, meaning that that particular one accredits programs, because there are different levels of accreditation. Regional accreditation is the covering for the whole university. Programmatic accreditation is for the programs. So if you are a social worker, you better go to a school that have a programmatic accreditation for social work. If you are in construction, you better go to an ABET school. Association of Builders, I think Engineering and Technology. I think that's the acronym for that. You better go to that. If you are a business student, now business could be a little different, but there are 3 accreditation agencies, programmatic for business. I'm saying all of this because we don't even know this as Black people. So when I did my mass communications degree, my school was accredited by the National Schools of Journalism, and so it's programmatic. The 2 degrees that I had after that for the business, one was international, and the other one was advancement of colleges of business, but they have the business accreditation. So not only do they have the regional accreditation, but the accreditation that supports that particular major. See, this is why I sit here and laugh at folks when they're talking about degree mills. You don't even know what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about. Don't even know what you're talking about. And I just think that it's sad that because of hatred for a person or a disdain for a person, you try to minimize or diminish the accomplishment, which you can't, because you didn't know what I did for research. There are some schools that I'm like, I know I can get a free education here, but no, this ain't it. And again, look at the people who are talking. We got one person, we don't even know if they have a high school diploma or a GED. We have another person, we know he hasn't gone to college. And it's not because you think you better, it's because you know better. Not because you think you better, it's because you know better. And so as you're getting ready to go to college, if you're somebody who's thinking about going to college, or you have nieces, nephews, maybe kids that are going to college, you need to be asking those questions. If your child is going to school for social work, you better make sure they have a regional accreditation and a programmatic accreditation. You better make sure your nursing school is programmatically accredited. Now, let me show you something. There are a lot of nursing schools, and maybe I'm gonna knock this out because I know it can be confusing. But see, we don't get this because we sit here and roast and gag, but when it comes to information, we really don't have it. Yes, even for financial aid, there are a lot of nursing schools that are nationally accredited, but their programmatic accreditation allows nurses to go into work. But this is the catch. This is the switch. When they get that BSN or that LVN from that national accredited school with the programmatic accreditation, when they want to do a master's program or a nurse practitioner's program, they can't get into a lot of these state schools because a lot of the state schools say, we understand that you went to a programmatically accredited school, but it ain't regionally accredited. So they got to go to Strayer or Capella. And you know what? Those schools will accept you because they're regional accredited. But their whole goal is to help those students who went to those nationally accredited schools, and they know that it's going to be more money. That's the bottom line. So anyway, you all, so what I'm trying to tell you all is, even in your nursing schools, you can go to a Concord College. You could go to a school that is nationally accredited and work in the nursing field because it's programmatically accredited, so you can get in. But when you want to go and finish a master's or a PhD in nursing or a nurse practitioner, you got to find, again, you're only going to be relegated to the DeVry, Strayers, and those schools, and they're going to charge you premium because you pay the price for national accredited institutions. So you got to even be careful with that. I know somebody got a BSN right now, and they told her nope. So she wound up having to get her BSN from Strayer. And the sad part about it is, y'all, let me say this. A nurse is a nurse is a nurse. If you get a BSN, if you get, it doesn't matter because you're going to have to go through pharmacology 1 and 2, mother baby. You're going to have to go through all of those things. When you get to the BSN, all you're doing is work. You don't even have to go into the school. You can do your whole BSN, your MSN, and your LPN, your nurse practitioner, all online. You can do it all online. Because once you get that nursing, once you pass that NCLEX, boo, you done. A nurse is a nurse is a nurse. A nurse is a nurse is a nurse. You all do the same work. But that's the sad part about it. Because if you go to a national accredited institution, your credits ain't transferring. Period. So what is the difference? Because everybody who I know has taken their BSN, everybody who I know has taken their BSN has done it online. And how do I know? Because Strayer offers a whole BSN online. Because you have associate's degrees RN and you have a BSN RN. Okay. Well, Ari, it's not reputable. It's not reputable, but I see a lot of people at hospitals with those degrees. And I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. All I'm gonna say is this, baby, check out the programmatic accreditation. And y'all say Strayer is not reputable. A nurse is a nurse unless you are just Krista. But Strayer is regionally accredited. All look, make sure you all check your accreditation. Make sure you're checking what it's required. Beans and cornbread, you ain't never lied, but that's what I'm saying. But Ari Love, they do have BSN programs. And now Strayer and Capella are one school. They call it strategic education. So Strayer and Capella are the same thing. Even though they kept their names, they're the same thing. Y'all go on Strayer's website and let me see. Let me see if I got my other phone. Let me see if I got my other phone. I think I might have left my other phone. Darn it. Hold on. Yeah, my other phone is in yeah, my other phone is in the house. But you all check out Strayer. They offer a BF they offer a BSN, RN BSN to yeah. So they offer a bachelor's science nursing. Ari Love, but that's what look, that's what people get their degrees. Now let me say this. Let me say this. And this is real. Strayer is known for business. Strayer is known for computers. That's what they do. So yeah, I would never go to a well, I wouldn't say never, but I would rather go to University of Texas Austin to do psychology and humanities than Texas A&M. I mean, Texas A&M is a good school, but Texas A&M is a agricultural and mechanical school. So when you think of when you think of A&M, you think of agriculture and yeah, you think of engineering and farming. Let me say something too, baby. You can't go to everybody nursing school. Do you all not know that even community colleges are getting closed down? If your nurses do not pass the NCLEX, your school can be closed. And that's the devious part about nursing schools because you can be in the middle of the nursing school and if they don't pass the NCLEX, that could affect whether you graduate or not because they will close down the nursing school really quickly. Really quickly for nursing. This is why a lot of nursing programs don't care if you drop out or not because they would rather you drop out than take that NCLEX and fail. Because failure on the NCLEX adversely affects their program. Nurses, am I right about that? Y'all, please check on that situation with the MSN BSN. Oh Lord, don't let me tell you, St. Thomas is getting ready to lose their law accreditation if they don't get it together. Now, again, you can't talk about HBCUs because St. Thomas is a Catholic university in Miami. And baby, yeah, Shaq actually graduated from Berry. Now, because they have two Catholic universities, Berry University and St. Thomas University in Miami. When I graduated from nursing school, those alternative education programs were not available. Evidence-based curriculum was not available. I'm gonna tell you, even with your nursing schools, you better be careful because if they don't have a good pass rate, nursing school and law schools, it's how many. So with law schools, they're looking at how many people pass the bar. If you have a low first time bar pass rate, your school may not be open. If your nurses NCLEX rates are low, your school may not be open. And let me tell y'all something. And again, this is why it's so important. I worked at a school that had a nursing department, and when I tell you, I used to ask people where you went to school. What did you get on? Because I said, do you know how to do dosages? Girl, basic math. You know how to do dosages? Girl, somebody give you. Y'all, nursing ain't no joke. I had to tell one student, if I hit the wrong note, nobody dies. You may look like this, but nobody dies. If I give you the wrong medicine or too much or too little of a medicine, you may die. And this is why it's so important. Because at the end of the day, death and life is in your hands. And you give somebody the wrong dosage of medicine, baby, that could be a problem. That could be a problem. But I'm saying all of this to say you want to make sure your schools are regionally accredited and programmatically accredited. And programmatically accredited means that, so if it's social work, there should be some agency in social work that validates this school. If it's business, it should be some school of business. If it's music, it should be some organization of music to validate that. Yeah, and it's very important. But we don't know that. There are people who went to college and don't know that. And that's the truth. So anyway, that's why I tell people I'm not ashamed of where I went because my stuff had regional accreditation and programmatic accreditation. And let me say this too with the Argosy situation. Argosy was also regionally accredited, but they also had APA, which is American Psychological Association. They also had that accreditation. So, like, if you go to a school for psychology, they need to be APA accredited. If you go to a school that's not APA accredited, you wasting money and you wasting time. Because even though the college may be regionally accredited, if they don't have that APA, you won't be able to sit for boards either. And I'm just telling you all this because our people don't know. Our people don't know, and we'll sit up there and laugh at stuff, but then when it comes to our children and stuff, we wasting money. You know, I know a school right now in Virginia, they're not regionally accredited, and they got a whole PhD program. I'm just saying. So you got to be very careful when it comes to that. And I'm saying all of this today because again, we could take a moment where people thought it was shade, but we can make it a teachable moment. Because again, I'm not ashamed of what I got. What I got is programmatically accredited and regionally accredited. And I know people don't like to hear about that because you know what? We don't do accreditation. We don't look into that kind of stuff. But just because you don't know about it, that don't mean it doesn't exist. And just because, and again, because of our ignorance, because we don't know any better, go to a lot of. Let me say this, and I ain't trying to be shady, but we have a couple of content creators who went to schools that were nationally accredited, and they got charged out of the wazoo, and the government had to step in and give these people their money back because they were not regionally accredited and they had predatory practices. right here on YouTube. Right here on YouTube, people. So what I'm telling y'all is real. ITT charged people almost $72,000 for an associate degree. Do you not know $72,000 could get you a master's and a bachelor's? But ITT was charging that for an associate's degree? Do you not know there are schools now charging people upward to $25,000 for phlebotomy and medical assistant? Do you not know you could go to the hospital and get that same certification for less? But because our people don't know, and I'm gonna say this, it happens in the music industry, it happens in a lot of places, it happens in education. Our people get taken advantage of because we don't know no better. Because we don't know no better. Because we don't do research. And these people will sit and lie and get you in and not tell you that, hey, you can go to a whole hospital. Kettering in Ohio, in Dayton, Ohio, you could do all of your medical stuff right there. It was a hospital. And that same nationally accredited degree you got and you paid $25,000 for, you could have got it at Kettering for free almost. But we don't know no better. We'll sit here and laugh at education. We'll sit here and laugh at that shit. But again, our people are being taken advantage of. And not only our people, but people who are low wealth. And this is where the 1% comes in, because the 1% be knowing. See, they know this stuff. We don't. We'll sit here and laugh. Oh, Jay Wilson talking about accreditation. Jay Wilson talking about accreditation, but Jay Wilson is right. And just because you ignorant of the process, baby, you can't make me feel bad again, because again, I know this. You know why I know this? Because I worked in the system, whether you want to believe it or not. And our people take the brunt of this mess. And so all I'm saying is, learn something. Don't be ignorant. And the reason why I'm letting you know this is because a lot of our family is going to college. A lot of us are going to college. This is what I was telling Brian. Brian, go to the University of People. Don't if you don't need to go on a campus and you just need the degree and it needs to be regionally accredited, go to the University of People and get it. It's regionally accredited and you can transfer somewhere else. Now, if you need a brick and mortar school, then you may want to go somewhere else. But that's what I was telling him. You got to know what works for you, what is good for you, what is going to satisfy what you need. And that ain't shade. That's just real, you all. That is real. And no nursing. Let me tell you something. Nursing is not easy. And see, this is what get nurses. You done did all of that training. That degree is hard. So when people say they don't want to be no nurse no more, I look at them like, wow, because you done put a lot of time in. And it's hard because the nursing thing, they can hold you in. That's why it's so hard for nurses to get in and out. So if you're just joining us, you all, I am just actually talking about education, um, it's some people, I guess, who were trying to diminish or um, talk about what I obtained as far as my educational pursuits. And my thing is, I'm back saying that I ain't ashamed of nothing that I've obtained because everything that I obtained was regionally accredited and it was programmatically accredited. And just because you don't understand that, you know, people regional accredited, well, it does mean something. And if you're not in education, then you just don't get it. And I'm not mad at it. And this is why our people get hurt because we need to know these things. And again, we can sit here on YouTube and fight with people and all that stuff. That's great. But you know, we're being taken advantage educationally. Why do you think they set up these schools in these poor neighborhoods? These because they're predatory. A lot of them are predatory. Ooh, I like this shirt. Okay, now let me get my black glasses. I like this shirt. Well, look, y'all, I really gotta go because I gotta get to this destination. But thank you all for indulging me. Um, Let me say this before I leave. I am not upset at anybody. I am not mad at anybody. I have no reason to be. I am doing educational, entertainment, um, roasting and gagging, whatever, but it's all entertainment. And at the end of the day, you all, this last portion of what I talked about, see, this is stuff we need. I don't have time to be bitter with folk when folk are being taken advantage of. I don't have time to be sitting here arguing with people who couldn't even have a conversation about what I just talked about because they are oblivious to what I just talked about. And again, um, you know, they're trying to minimize something, but again, I'm too knowledgeable of the system to let somebody who don't know a darn thing about even doing college admission and financial aid to talk to me. It's just crazy. And it's not because I don't think they're unlikable or likable. It's just they're ignorant in this subject. There are some subjects that I'm ignorant in, so I don't even deal with. But there are some subjects that I do know and I do talk about. So yeah. Well, look, I'm on my way out. Thank you all for coming in. Y'all have a good one. Peace and love. Have a good one. Bye.